morning, this evening, and thank you so much for sparing this time out of your busy days and busy evenings. And I will make sure this is the worthwhile time you spend today. So, shall we wait for more people to join in? Maybe it's 7 o'clock. I think we should respect your time, the people who have joined in. And I believe more people are joining in and they will catch up. So, this 100K blind spot, how can you, as a practice owner, can identify and see this 100K in a clear vision? How that is possible? It's pretty easy, but it will take time for us to understand. So if you allow me, I want to proceed with this. But before I go further, I just want to make sure that you have full understanding that today I'm not going to talk about some tax tips that wonderfully saves you money. That is not today's topic. And neither is this accounting jargons and other accounting stuff that we do. No, I won't be boring you with those details either. So today, my aim is at the end of this session, you all can make better, informed, and educated decisions. Not always relying on your gut feel, but informed decisions. I hope you are all with me, still with me. So, what is happening in the real life with the businesses, especially the dentists who are now running the practices? Right? You're getting busier, you're growing, you're active, right? But at the end of the day, there is still lack of this financial clarity or visibility. You might have seen sometime like your turnover, your income is growing, but you don't see the benefit of it, the bottom line, what we call profit. You don't see that happening within your practices, right? And when you get to see these things, it's usually very, very, very late. We call it year end accounts. And even as of today's date, many practice owners are still following this old school model that we wait for the year end to get to know the reality. And that is what the aim is, to give you the visibility that you need, at least for yourselves, right? Let's try this. Might be you thinking, like, we are busy, we are making a real effort, we are busy all day, we are pulling all the tricks that we can, making your customers happy, making sure your marketing is super good. So the customers are coming in, right, and making you busy, and you are making your best effort to keep them happy. Correct? That's what everybody is trying to do. So is it an effort that is missing in this whole picture? That you really can't understand these numbers the way you should? I never agreed to that. And I don't think is the effort is the problem here. The problem, I think, is the visibility. And the visibility, clarity, you might be hearing these terms a lot of the time, but I think is some blame that we should and accept and take it, that we have never been able to offer you that visibility or clarity, or we never explained to you in real simple plain language that what does that mean, what is this visibility or clarity that you guys are all talking about, right? So you might be thinking, yeah, that's an accountant talking, so it means must be more spreadsheets, right? Maybe they have a best dashboard in the world and we can have all the reports on our screen, like there are many other dashboards that you're already monitoring, right? But that is no visibility. That is noise. That is a clutter, right? We don't want to be that road anymore, right? So let's figure out what visibility really means for you as a business owner, right? So I believe I, as a business owner, and you as business owners, you want clear answers, right? You want to know what is happening in your business and when it is happening. not just bottom line or top line figures, right? We don't want to end up with these surprises anymore. And here are some of the questions that I would like every practice owners to know and should be able to answer, and they should be on your fingertips all the time. So if I ask you, which treatments in your practice are the most profitable ones? Would you be able to answer that question? If, due to your recent marketing effort or due to your great customer experiences, a lot of people are coming in, your turnover is increasing, you're famous guys now, right? But why it is not having any impact on the profit? Would you know that which surgery or chair is performing the best? And $1 million question. How much money can I take out of my business and safely? This question keeps coming up a lot more than you can imagine. And the biggest trouble of all is, what will be the cash position in 2 to 3 months' time, right? Can I afford to pay my staff in 2 to 3 months' time? Can I afford all the rent? Can I afford all the other plans that I have in place? And these are the things I'm talking about, and this is where today's focus is. We should be able to do that easily just by looking at the right data, right? Not just accounting information, just by looking at the right numbers and explained in simple and easy language. Why? So you can make better informed decisions. So just busy for the sake of busy doesn't help anybody. It's usually are the busiest practices that are leaking most of the profits. Reason why? Because once you get busy and without plan, there is a huge tendency here that you will be leaking more profits because of a lot of inefficiencies that will be caused because you're too busy, your focus is somewhere else. So you're not paying attention to the bottom line, right? Because you're not looking at that information. And you must be thinking that profit has disappeared because of one sudden reason. No, you'll be surprised to know that is very rare. The profits are eaten up by one major expense. They are rare events that you bought some expensive equipment. You might be aware of that thing. But these are the small leaks that you should be more worried about than the bigger ones at this stage, right? When was the last time, for example, you look at the associate structure, what percentage you're paying to them, right? What could be better, revised? What about the lab cost? Given, yes, I understand. I totally get it. Like, yes, you are paying attention to the lab cost. But have you ever compared the lab cost to the total revenue? Because this is the direct result of the work you performed or the revenue you have generated. So, most of the time, what you're doing is making decisions in the dark. Lack of visibility is the serious problem here. Okay, I think I want to make it more interactive. I want you to be part of this exercise, right? I want you just do me a favor, please. On your screens now, you can see a QR code. Take your phones out, turn the cameras on, scan this QR code. It's a small test for all of you. Rest assured, it's a private test. Nobody will have access to this information other than myself. But I want you to be very, very, very honest when you're answering these questions. It only take a couple of minutes. There is no accounting question here. All I'm asking you here is about your business. How do you feel? And I'm asking on certain areas, right? Not everything. I just want to know, and I want you to know as well, that what is your feel about your numbers, about profitability, efficiencies within the business, and how you plan for the future, right? So if you're ready, please do that. I'll put it back on so you can scan this again. It will only take a couple of minutes. Give your own honest, very, very honest answers, please. Okay, let's move on. I believe you have done it because it doesn't take much time. And at the end of this test, you would have seen in some area, so you're getting red light, and others you might be amber and maybe green. A lot of practices will sit in the middle, and that is very, very common, right? There are very far and few practices who will have green light across all areas. If you have achieved green, congratulations, you are a rare, very rare breed. And you are the one who most likely is the most successful practice. As you can imagine, I'm talking about visibility a lot. So you might be thinking, what is this visibility all about in terms of financial understanding, right? To me, it's understanding your monthly performance in a shape of profit and loss. So you should be able to pull out your profit and loss. We live in an age where we have cloud accounting in place, we have Xerox, QuickBooks, and many other accounting softwares in place. I believe you have one of those too. So if you don't use it directly, your accountants must be using it, right? So ask for the monthly profit and loss from your accountants. And that is the starting point of building a clear visibility. The next thing, the logical thing, is to look at your cash position. Cash was a king, is a king, and will always be the king. Profitability is what you're seeing on paper. Cash is the reality, right? We will touch upon on this topic later, maybe in a few minutes, but always have a look at your cash position. Do you have sufficient funds to carry on for next few months? At least 2 to 3 months. Have a look at your gross profit figure that is given there in your profit and loss statement. What are your margins? Are they slipping away? Are they remaining the same? First month, it may look alien to you, but once you build a habit of looking at it month after month after month, this will become 5 minutes of exercise in a month, right? And what will happen? Surprises will start disappearing. You will always be able to spot things a lot earlier. You will be able to have a very clear mind about the decisions you're going to make in this month or the next month or for the year, right? You will start getting a lot more clarity about how your business is performing. And that is the key when I talk about visibility. So let's look at an example, right? It's common, and it's so common than you can imagine. Turnover keeps growing, but the profit isn't moving much. Means your top line, the revenue, is increasing. God knows, for many reasons, it is possible. As I mentioned earlier, could be your marketing, could be your team, could be the new service you have introduced, could be hygiene treatments. I don't know. Anything could improve your turnovers. But when you look at the profit at the end of the month, nothing has changed much. Why? Because maybe it's not definitive, but could be potentially possible that you took a decision to spend a lot of money in the marketing and bring in more clients, get more treatments done. But that decision was made in the dark, not fully thought through. So you decided, okay, we need one more associate, one more clinician that could come in and can do the extra work. It could be as a result of this additional lab cost and maybe additional receptionist costs, maybe other costs are creeping in, but you never accounted for that. So result, you are busy. Congratulations. You are busy. You're very busy now. But because you didn't think it's true, now the profits haven't moved, right? So that visibility that I talked earlier about, that the visibility that when you start looking at your profit and loss statement every month, these things will start making sense. Now, why your profit isn't improving? You will be able to see the relation between the expenses and the revenue. Another common problem, on the paper, the practice is doing great. It's profitable. The profits are good, margins are good, everything is performing as it should. But end of the month or end of the week, there is never sufficient cash that you can utilize to pay off everything. And most of the time, it's your own money, it's your wages that doesn't get paid. Because you get paid at the last, at the end. Everybody gets paid, but your money hasn't been paid. And that's where you feel the squeeze. That's where you start questioning why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's a good question, though, right? But that question must be asked when your cash is tight. And it's really important to understand why the profits are higher, but the cash is tight. As I mentioned earlier, profit is a paper number that is coming from your profit and loss statements, but cash is the reality. And the reason why you're not seeing it, because there could be a tax bill that is outstanding, right? There could be a fancy equipment that you saw on the dentistry show last time when you and your partner were visiting it together and you liked it and you thought, yeah, that's a good equipment, we must get it. There are payments that need to be made for that equipment. Surprisingly, not for me, but those payments aren't part of your P&L unless you financed it, right? Your own drawings and dividends, right? They will be problematic because there is not sufficient cash. And if you take them early before paying the taxes, that is a problem too. Again, that is not part of the profit figure. Outstanding loan payments. There could be multiple reasons. I'm not here to talk all about this, but you can feel the problem here, right? That where this problem is coming is because we didn't have the visibility about our cash and about our P&L or profit and loss statements. Let's say you have regular monitoring of your profit and loss statements. You will start becoming smarter every month. I can assure you that. You will start looking at these things that are on your screen now, like there are potential leakages. There is so much underused chair time that could have improved. But if I had looked at it earlier, or I wish I had a time earlier to look at these things. Some team members are performing a lot better than others. That information can also be coming from your profit and loss statements too, right? So if your turnover is stronger, but there could be a lot of efficiency issues that are causing issues, right? So I hope by this time I have been able to draw your attention to a practice or the practice owner that is reactive, or the other one who has the visibility about his business. So you don't want to be on the left hand side. You want to be a visible practice. The visible practice is the one that outperforms every other practice by miles. So if you are a practice that is still waiting for the year-end accounts to come, for you to get to know your numbers and profitability and turnovers and all the rest of the information, I'm afraid that is very, very, very late. Instead, switch to monthly reviews. Get your profit and loss statements every month, please. Stop looking at your bank balance as a definitive guide about how much money you have. Understanding your margins, on the other hand, will improve your cash statement too. And once you start looking at these things are a lot easier. There's a lot of peace of mind here. You can go sleep at night without thinking about what happened today or what's coming tomorrow because you already know it. You can plan for it. So, ultimate aim is definitely not more reports, more dashboards, more data. No. You want to play with the information you already have readily available on your computers, on your desktops, or with your accountants. If we start utilizing this information properly, you will have full access all the time. And I don't need to read this to you, but you can already tell that this visibility thing has improved everything in your life. You're a lot happier, calmer, relaxed, because you know. And most of all, you can have better conversations with your accountants and lawyers. It will bring more confidence, make your life easy. So this is the common theme, what you're seeing on my screen right now, because I made a note of it because I know I'm seeing it a lot, and that comes to me a lot in a lot of conversations, that we are working extremely hard, sir, but nothing is really happening, right? So as I said, it's not an effort. Replace it with the visibility. You're having a good turnover, but a bad profit, visibility. You're unsure, stressed out, tired, visibility. That is where you will find the answers to all of your problems. So, yes, compliance, do it. That is important. That is your out of jail card. The HMRC need information, company's house need information. Yes, it's important. You must do that. But can we all decide that we're going to use this information in our favor too, not only for the sake of authorities, right? The information most of the time is already there. Let's process it. Let's use it in your advantage just by asking some basic questions. So it's easy. The next step is a lot easier now. So take your profit and loss statement and start looking at these numbers. and start identifying where are the gaps, where are the opportunities, and what needs attention. Just one thing that I would like to add here is please don't rush into these things, into making decisions. You might see tons of issues in month one. Please do not try to address them all in one go. Right? Pick your battles wisely. If you can resolve one area at a time in 1 month, that is a good outcome. Right? If we can improve our margins, let's say we've decided to look at the pricing structure. Maybe we want to look at the lab cost or our structure or associate costs, right? Or any other expense for the sake of it. Just pick it wisely, focus on one area. Once it's done, you can move on to the next area. And within 6 to 8 months' time, you will have at least 6 less problems to deal with. Correct? That is the takeaway I believe you should have from this exercise today. That's what we should start doing. And that's where not only 100K, that is where millions of pounds are hiding. Right? And that's what our job is, to find them and take a corrective action and take it wisely. And yes, there will be times when you're looking at these statements and you have a question. So I'm offering you, because you attended this session out of your time, so I'm offering you a free, absolutely free, no obligation consultation, right? So if you look at the profit and loss statement and something doesn't make sense, that is where your answer lies. Scan this code, please. Book your time with us, and we will give you the answers. Absolutely free. Because I really appreciate what you've done today. Yes, this is the last one for me. You read it, right? Start asking better questions. And early. Not at the year end. I think that is it from me. And thank you again. Thank you so much for your time.